Hey everybody, Jay down here in Belize again with another house update. Well, today I thought I would do a quick video about my driveway lights, my nice little lamp posts that I had built. I've got those lining the driveway, and thought I'd do kind of a close-up detail here. This is a pretty common design, at least in North America, but typically I've seen these made out of landscaping blocks, and they glue them together with a landscape block adhesive. Pretty simple to build, can do it yourself. But down here in Belize, I have not found a good source for concrete landscaping blocks. I only know of one store in the country that has them, and they're imported, so they're super expensive. So I decided to build my own, basically following the same box design, but we made it out of Plysum, which is kind of like a fiber cement board, really durable, water resistant material, very common down here. And basically built a frame using treated pine lumber. Like I mentioned in a previous video, make sure you use treated lumber for everything. I've learned the hard way, you do not want to use untreated pine lumber down here. You're going to get mold, you're going to get wood lice, you're going to get termites. There's just tons of things down here that want to eat pine lumber for breakfast, so don't do it. Make sure you get treated pine lumber for everything, especially if it's outdoors. Anywhere it's going to be in a humid environment. So we built the frame, and then basically just covered it in Plysum. Around the top we just have a 2x2 in there, and then little pieces of Plysum just to kind of give it a little decorative design there. And then for mounting the post, I've already got it covered up, but basically what I did here is I used a hole saw and cut myself a little wooden round kind of hockey puck, and then screwed that down, and then that gave me the round base that I needed for the pole mount, basically for the attaching the light. And I thought, since I had this open, I'd mention again about wiring down here, because in Belize or Central America in general, you may come across, well, you'll likely come across a lot of different colored wires. And following up from my previous video, I thought I would mention kind of how I keep track of what wire goes where. So in North America, your hot lead, I call it hot lead, that's your line lead, so that carries the line voltage, so that's going to be 120 volts coming in. And then you've got your white, which is your neutral. You can think of that as ground, although technically it is separate from ground, because we have a ground lead here, which is typically your bare copper, no insulation on it, or it might be a green wire. So that's technically your ground, but they get bonded together back at your electrical panel. So, you know, essentially your ground and your neutral are the same thing. So what you really want to be careful for is your line voltage, or what I call hot lead. And the way I remember it, I think of the sun, and I think of toast. And here's why. So the black lead, that's what color you're going to turn if you touch it, because when you burn toast, it turns black. Also, we've got, in this particular case, we have this brown and blue paired wire. And again, I think of toast. Toast is brown, so that's what color you're going to turn if you touch it. So brown is your hot lead. And then red and black, when you see those together, bonded together in a wire, your red is your hot lead. And I think of the sun. The sun is hot and it's red, or at least sunsets are red, and that's what color your hot lead is. And then everything else is basically neutral. It's a little confusing, because now I have a black wire going to my white wire. Don't think of this in terms of matching colors. A lot of people try to do that, and you can wind yourself up in a world of hurt, literally. You really need to be thinking in terms of hot and neutral. So I basically tie all my hots together, in this case black, red, and brown, and I tie all my neutrals together, in this case, which is white, black, and blue. I know it's confusing. If that does not make sense to you, do not attempt this. Hire yourself an electrician, and make sure they know what they're doing too, because chances are, even a North American electrician's probably going to look at blue and brown and red and black, and they're going to think, "Oh man, what a mess." But this is the wire we've got to work with here, so you kind of have to get used to it if you're going to be doing electrical in Belize or Central America. Well, so that's my helpful hints. Hopefully that helps, and you can build your own light boxes out of plysim and wood frame. And stay tuned for more Belize house updates.